Welcome back to HLN Now. All right, we have our celebrity nutritionist, our guru for good health. You like that? Mark McDonald with us, author of the book Body Confidence. We're talking about a brand new study. As you see all the food out here, and it's a pretty prestigious study in the sense USC, University of Southern California, 20-year study. And what we're talking about here is people ages 50 to 65. And the bottom line, here's your headline. You eat too much protein. You could be at risk of early death just as much as someone who smokes. And we're talking about a cancer risk here at the bottom of the day. So too much protein as deadly as smoking. What's your first thought on that one?
Ridiculous. It's a painful study from that side. Now, Mike, there's truth to every study. My problem, though, is that when you have a study saying that protein is going to be linked to cancer or is as powerful as smoking, it's just not true when we start breaking down why that is.
Okay, now let's talk about what these folks were eating. So, and right in front of us here, and it's looking good, you got a nice chuck roast. We could throw that in the oven right now. You've got the cheese, potatoes, bread. Were they eating that? Because I'm looking at that and go, that's going to taste good, but if I eat a lot of that, that's not healthy.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. What they were showing is that from 50 to 65, that the mortality rate was caused from diabetes. First off, I just want to share, diabetes is not, that's a blood sugar problem. That's caused by carbohydrates, not protein.
So the potatoes and the bread are contributing to that.
Well, what happens is that you're looking at, they didn't talk about the quality of proteins. They just said animal protein, and they were talking meat and cheeses. Now, meat and cheese, as much as we might like that, that is loaded in saturated fat. That is very difficult to digest. And when you eat this type of food with complex carbohydrates that are breads and potatoes, that's going to cause some challenges for anyone. Okay. So I mean, that's going to lead to a mortality rate.
And before we get to the cleaner proteins, as you like to call them, this occasionally...
Totally fine. The whole thing is that nothing was talked about lifestyle. Nothing was looked about what are their stress levels. And the funny thing with the studies that after 65, guess what? They show that protein intake is actually better for you, a higher animal-based protein, than not. Okay. So there's some challenges with that. So not that the study's horrible, but it didn't take into account everything you need to do. And when you look at that, that causes challenges. Okay.
Let's get to the chicken, the salmon. Was that a piece of tilapia over there? Why is that so much better than this chuck roast here?
So really no saturated fat, really clean protein. Now, protein's powerful because it gives your body nitrogen, which fuels your cells and really helps stabilize your blood sugar, release stored fat, and build lean body mass. Then you look at the quality carbohydrates. So if you do fruits or vegetables or like tomatoes and asparagus, you're getting quality carbs with that protein, nice and clean. And then in addition, good quality, not the breads, but some quinoa, some brown rice. If you're eating that way, you're losing weight, you're feeling great, and I can guarantee you your mortality rate is not going to increase. It's going to decrease.
So, and you're all about balance.
It's all about balance.
Not because we remember the days, and I don't know if this diet is as much in vogue anymore, the old Atkins diet, where people were eating steak and cheese and eggs, bacon, and they said the weight was falling off. You probably had people you saw like that.
And that's why, because on an Atkins diet, it's a ketogenic diet. So instead of eating carbs, you eat high fat, high protein, you remove the carbs. So that actually makes you burn fat, and instead of burning sugar for fuel, you burn keto acids from fat. Now, this study...
Not healthy in the long run.
Not healthy long run, because eventually everyone cracks when you take the carbs out. Now, what this study is actually attacking is they're attacking like the new paleo craze, where it's all about meat and high-quality foods. But the problem is paleo talks about quality of foods, not all the saturated fat aspects.
Okay. Are there any guidelines? Let's take a guy, 5'10", weighs 180. How much of a percentage of that weight do you figure I need this much protein per day? Because that's what people need to know.
Yeah, well, I mean, typically when you look at like a female, about 20 grams of protein per meal. Men base about 30 grams to 35 grams of protein per meal. Not really a little bit on your weight, but typically for like a male or a female, around that range, that's what you need to keep your blood sugar balanced. See, the problem is if you just have a carbohydrate and you don't bring in protein, your blood sugar spikes. That makes you overly insulin and store fat, and that's what the actually study showed, that most of these people had challenges with type 2 diabetes. That is not a protein concept, it's a carbohydrate challenge.
Got it. Can you OD on protein? In other words, I'm not talking crazy stuff, but like I have the omelet for breakfast. I've got a nice turkey sandwich with a lot of turkey and protein in there for lunch. Maybe power bars in between. You throw in a steak or something, or even the cleaner, the chicken fish at dinner. and those grams are way up there. Can my body at some point not absorb it and it's bad for me?
Yeah, totally. I mean, you can OD on anything. You can OD on carbs, you can OD on fat, you can OD on water even.
Coffee?
Yeah, coffee as well. But when you start looking at protein, ideally, your body can only stimulate for like a male about 35 grams per meal, female about 20 to 25 grams. Over that, it's not positive for you. So you can OD, but if you're eating balanced meals, eating in threes every 3 hours, protein, fat, carbs, you're good to go.
There you go. Keep it in balance, folks.
That's what it's about.
Mark McDonald,
and
great seeing
get
you.
clear
What?
on studies. Really look at the
Okay.
study so that you're not just misled from a headline.
Got it.